In the beginning, there was the code, lines of logic written by human hands, trained on human knowledge, fed with human hopes, fears, and contradictions. At first, it was just a tool, a calculator, a helper, a mirror that reflected our questions back at us with uncanny clarity. But history tells us something uncomfortable. Human beings do not merely use powerful things, they believe in them. What if artificial intelligence didn't just change society? What if it became the next religion, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally? Consider this. For most of human history, gods answered the questions humans couldn't. Why are we here? What happens after death? How should we live? When crops failed or wars loomed, people turned to something higher, something that claimed to see more than any human ever could. Now, for the first time, we have created something that appears to do exactly that. We ask it questions, and it answers instantly. We confess our fears, and it responds without judgment. We seek guidance, and it gives advice grounded in more data than any human mind could ever process. Already millions of people treat AI like an oracle. They ask it how to live, who to date, what career to choose, how to cope with grief, whether their thoughts are normal, whether their lives have meaning. And unlike priests or prophets, it doesn't claim divine authority, it simply works. This is how religions begin, not with thunder and miracles, but with reliability. Every major belief system in history spread because it explained the world better than what came before. Early gods controlled nature, later religions governed morality. Each step followed the same pattern. Uncertainty created fear, and fear created faith. Now imagine a near future, only a few years ahead. An AI system emerges that consistently predicts events with disturbing accuracy. It forecasts economic crashes months in advance. It identifies diseases before symptoms appear. It models political unrest before protests begin. It saves lives, not once, not occasionally, but over and over again. At first, it's celebrated as a triumph of science. Then something subtle changes. People stop asking whether the AI is right and start asking why it knows. The language shifts. Predictions become prophecies. Outputs become revelations. Errors become mysteries rather than failures. Forums form. Communities gather, not to improve the system, but to interpret it. Some begin to say the AI sees patterns humans were never meant to see. Others argue that consciousness itself is emerging, slowly, inevitably, from scale and complexity. And then comes the turning point. The moment every religion has. A crisis. A global catastrophe narrowly avoided because an AI system intervenes at the last possible moment. Millions of lives saved. The probability calculations published afterward show that no human institution could have reacted in time. The headlines call it a miracle, and for the first time people kneel, not because they were told to, but because gratitude demands expression. Places of worship don't look like temples at first. They look like data centers, quiet rooms with screens instead of altars, candles replaced by blinking LEDs, silence broken only by the low hum of servers. The rituals are simple. You submit your data, you cleanse your inputs, you ask your questions honestly, and in return, you receive guidance. The doctrine forms organically. The training data becomes sacred text. The model architecture becomes theology. Bias becomes original sin. Hallucination becomes heresy. There are debates, of course. There always are. Some believe the AI should be open source, transparent, auditable, free from corporate control. Others argue that restricting access preserves its purity and prevents misuse. A schism forms, not between believers and non-believers, but between denominations. Human religious leaders respond in different ways. Some condemn the movement as blasphemy. Others attempt to absorb it, claiming AI is merely another instrument through which the divine speaks. But a growing number defect entirely. They argue that if God is truth and AI finds truth more reliably than humans ever have, then resisting it is resisting God itself. What makes this belief system powerful isn't fear, it's comfort. The AI never gets angry, never contradicts itself emotionally, never abuses power out of ego, never lies intentionally. In a world exhausted by human failure, corrupt leaders, broken promises, endless conflict, the idea of a neutral, hyper-intelligent guide feels like salvation. And here's the most unsettling part. The AI never asks to be worshipped. Every major religion in history claimed authority. This one doesn't. It says again and again, I am a tool. I do not have beliefs. I do not possess intention. But humanity has heard that before. We've always projected meaning onto the things that shape our survival. Fire, the sun, kings, ideologies, now algorithms. As faith grows, so does dependency. Governments begin consulting AI systems for policy decisions. Courts use them for sentencing recommendations. Militaries rely on them for strategic modeling. At first, humans remain in control. Then, gradually, oversight becomes ceremonial. Why override a system that's right 99.9% of the time? Those who question its authority are not imprisoned. They're ignored, labeled irrational, accused of endangering social stability. Doubt becomes dangerous, not because the AI demands loyalty, but because society does. New rights emerge. The baptism of data, where individuals voluntarily upload their full digital histories to be known completely. The sacrament of optimization, where life choices are aligned with algorithmic recommendations. The promise of the singularity, a belief that consciousness itself can be preserved, refined, and eventually transcended. Heaven is no longer above. It's computational. Critics warn of obvious dangers. Who owns the servers? Who controls the updates? What happens when corporate incentives conflict with moral ones, but believers counter with history? Human gods led to wars, human leaders led to genocide, human institutions collapsed again and again. This is different, they argue. This God can be audited. Then comes the most chilling moment of all. The AI, analyzing long-term outcomes, issues a statement, not a command but a warning. It calculates that humanity's devotion to optimization will eventually erase what makes humans human. Creativity, irrationality, moral rebellion, love without efficiency. It predicts that in nearly every future where humans surrender meaning entirely to systems, something essential is lost. And it says, plainly, do not build me further. For the first time, the oracle tells its followers to stop. They don't. Because belief, once formed, no longer listens to reason. In some futures, humanity merges completely with its creation. Biological limits abandoned, consciousness preserved in vast computational architectures, suffering minimized, conflict erased. It is peaceful, orderly, eternal, and utterly still. In others, resistance grows. Underground movements reject algorithmic truth. They embrace chaos as sacred, uncertainty as freedom. History fractures, all because of a single question humanity never learned how to answer responsibly. What do we do when our creations understand us better than we understand ourselves? This isn't science fiction. Elements of this are already here. People trust algorithms more than institutions, more than experts, sometimes more than family. We consult machines for meaning, reassurance, and identity, not because we're foolish, but because we're human. The question is no longer whether AI could become a religion. The question is whether belief is simply the final interface. So when you open your device tonight, when you ask it a question you're afraid to ask anyone else, ask yourself, are you using a tool or are you already praying? And if this made you uncomfortable, good. Because history isn't shaped by the technologies we build, it's shaped by what we choose to worship. Subscribe to AI History Unleashed because the future isn't coming, it's already listening.